Hello there, it's Diorama Don here. Welcome everybody. And what we have this time is a diorama base. So you've spent weeks and weeks sticking your military vehicle together and weathering it and doing what you need to do to it. Then you maybe have bought a resin kit as a backdrop for it. But even so, you still need a diorama base to stick or to put everything on. So what this video is just a very quick and easy diorama base. You can buy resin kit bases. It's just a plastic sheet with cobbles on them that you have to paint. Even so, it's only a couple of millimeters thick. You still need to put that even onto another base. So what this is just a very simple idea for a diorama base to place your military vehicle on. So what I've got is a piece of polystyrene. This can be any thickness, obviously. This is 3/4 of an inch, 18 millimeters. It could be thicker. You could put 2 or 3 pieces together to make it into quite a high base. And then I put this cardboard on the top, 2 millimeter thick. If you can't buy this type of card, then 3 pieces of cornflake packets stuck together will give you exactly the same thing. So if you stick that on there, okay, and then with some pieces of other card that is 2 millimeters wider than that width. So there's the width of the polystyrene plus the width of the cardboard, and this is 2 millimeters wider. Okay, so when we put all 4 pieces on, we've got like a shuttering, if you like, all the way around, which we can go on to the next stage of doing. Okay, so I'll put these on. I'll stick this on here, put the glue on the cardboard first, and then wait maybe 3-4 seconds, something like that, just so that it cools a little bit, not too much or it won't work, but just a few seconds, and then put that onto the polystyrene, and it won't burn into the polystyrene. If it does that, then it won't stick. But if you wait those few seconds, then it will be sticky enough to stick it onto the polystyrene. Hope you're following this. Then I'll put these all the way around, and I'll have my shuttering, if you like, all the way around there. I'm going to make a cobbled stone base. I've made them in the past. I've done a few videos with cobbled stone, but I don't think I've actually shown you stage by stage exactly what I do. So this will be a more comprehensive lesson, if you like. I don't like to call it lesson. But what I'm going to do is this area will be cobbled, and this area will be a paved area there. So that will stick on there. And then I will need another piece, because this will be the same height, the same level then as my cobbled street. So I will need to step up onto the pavement there. Okay, but we'll move on to the pavement when I've done the cobbles. So for the time being, I'll just stick all these pieces together, come back, and we'll do the next stage. Okay, so I've stuck my cardboard onto the polystyrene and put my border all the way around. And like I say, it could be any height that you want it to be. Just for the sake of argument, I only made it 3/4, but it could be, you know, one of these high diorama bases that you see. Put my path in, or the first part of the path. I'll put the second half in a moment, and given it a coat of wall filler. So this is what I use. I know I keep going on about my wall filler. They call it wall putty, but it's not wall putty really. Any DIY store will sell this. You don't need to use the proprietary brands. The cheapest version will do. And as you can see, it's a very thick consistency, so quite impossible to paint with that. But if you add just a little bit of water to it, then it becomes like a thick paint, and you can cover the area that you're about to work on, and it just makes for a better adhesion. When I put my tile grout on here, it will stick to this much more readily than the cardboard. Okay, so this is almost dry, so I'll give it another minute or two. I'll come back and we'll lay the tile grout. Okay, so my wall putty now is completely dry. It only takes literally minutes for it to dry. And now I've mixed some tile grout. So, well, upside down. USA, I don't know if that's a proprietary brand throughout the world. I would imagine it is, but any brand really of tile grout that obviously you can buy at any DIY shop or tile distributor. You will be able to buy this quite cheaply. The tiles are the main source of profit, so they sell the grout and the adhesive reasonably inexpensively, so that they can sell the ceramic tiles. So this is very, very inexpensive. I think for this full bag, when it was full up, I paid the equivalent of 80 pence, or about 50 cents. No, the other way, about $1. So, you know, it's inexpensive, whatever, I'm sure, wherever you look to buy it from. So anyway, put a little bit into a container with some water, but I also put some PVA glue in there as well. You know, the white PVA glue, just a little bit in there, which will help keep everything all together. So now all I've got to do is pour that onto my base like so. It's more like a cookery program now. Put in the oven, mark 10 on your gas. No. Okay, so we've got, I don't know if there's enough now. I've just got to spread that over this area. I think I'm going to be lucky. Or not. But you get the idea anyway, just to spread it, just a thin coat, level with the top of the cardboard, because you've got that 2mm of shuttering. You can just get the height of it from the cardboard sides. Oh, how about that? Just about right. And that's it. That's all you need to do. And all I've got to do is make one pass with my ruler across the cardboard, and that will be... this is a very messy job. So be aware. Oh God. Anyway, I've got it on. I've got it on there, and it doesn't need to be perfect. You can adjust it as it dries. So after half an hour, I can just put a sponge on there just to flatten all these bits off. Okay, or I could do it again with. I may go over it again with my ruler. Anyway, I'll come back in an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and I'll mark out the cobbles and I'll show you how I do that. I don't think I've actually done that part on camera, so I'll be back in a moment to show you. So about an hour and a half has passed. After half an hour, I just put a damp sponge over the top just to make it a little more level, although it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Then I've got a sharpened barbecue stick and a ruler. I've already marked out the gutter. 3 lines will make up the gutter. And then, how am I going to do this? I'll just put the centre line in, which is 90 degrees to the gutter line. And then just carve out. Are you seeing this? Every 1/4 of an inch, 4 or 5 millimeters, something like that. It's up to you. You could have big cobbles, I suppose, but this is kind of the optimum size they need to be. So you have to go all the way down there, turn round, come all the way back there, and then when that's done, because you've sort of revealed the innards of the tile grout, it will dry quite quickly now, much more quickly, because the air is getting to more parts of the inside of it. So although it's early to do this yet, later it will be easy enough to mark out each cobble like so. It's a long and laborious job, but it's got to be done. So I'll carry on doing this. I'll do the long lines and then give it another 20 minutes or so, and then mark out each individual cobble. And well, we'll see what it looks like then. Should look a little bit better than it does now. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. So I finished marking out my cobbles and then allowed it to dry overnight, and that's the result. So very cobbly, I think you'll agree. Size of the cobbles, if you can imagine a 1/35 scale person laying the cobbles, they would be about as big as his hand. So they don't need really to be much bigger than his hand. If you look at photos on Google of cobbled streets, I think in general they would be maybe a little bit bigger than his hand, but in general not much bigger. So that gives you some kind of idea of size. You could use a little bit bigger in the guttering there, but anyway, we've got the cobbles. This will be the path, stepping up onto the path, so that second piece of cardboard now can sit on there. What I normally do with paths is cut a groove where I've marked out where I want the slabs to be. But in this case, I shall cut out all of these slabs. So I'll cut 1, 2, 3 cuts there, and all of these cuts on these lines, and then just chamfer the 4 corners and then stick them back again in the same place. You'll know it when I do it. It would explain it better. So you could leave the cobbles as they are, like that, or you could fill in between the cobbles to show the dirt that has accumulated between all the cobbles. I'll only do a little bit, and then so make sure this fills in all the gaps and cracks. I need a little bit more water, it's getting a bit stiff already. This is just a different coloured tile grout, that's all. Well, it's a cream coloured grout, but that's immaterial really for what we do later. So with a damp sponge, and just take off the top layer. Like so. And that will give you a much better looking cobbled effect. Okay, close look. So I'll carry on and do that. What I shall do when this is dry, which won't take very long, is put a black wash over the top, and that will darken down this yellow. Anyway, I'll do that and I'll show you the outcome, and you'll see what I mean. But generally speaking, that is the cobbled street. If you lose one or two, all the better. Looks more realistic. Okay, so it doesn't matter if one or two come loose, but in general, that's as hard as a cobble. Okay, so I'll finish off doing my mortar, if you like, in between the cobbles, and put my path on, and we'll come back and see what it looks like then. Okay, so everything all dry now, and as you can see with the path, I cut the I'd marked out on the card where I wanted my paving slabs to be, cut along the lines of the pencil mark, and then made just the slightest chamfer on the edges with sandpaper, and then stuck them all back down again. So now we've got like a three-dimensional looking path rather than just a piece of card marked out. Anyway, oh wait, I'd left my black paint outside. So this is just black paint and water, and now I'll give it a coating all over with this, and it will, oh blimey, that's a bit dark. Didn't mix it well enough. Oh, that's all right. So I'll go over the whole thing with a black wash like this, and let that dry, and that will pretty much be it. I'll determine what I do with the cobbles once this has dried. A lot of people colour the cobbles, but if you look at if you Google cobbled streets, they're generally all the same colour. They're not usually different colours. Okay, so that's made a right horrible mess of things now, but when it's dry, it'll be okay. He prayed. I think it'll be fine. But what you can do is, once this is on and dried, then with sandpaper you can just take off the excess black paint that you want. But again, I'll wait for this to dry and do that, and come back and show you the end result. So 1 minute and I'll be back. Okay, so completed the diorama base. So now you can add your buildings or military vehicle that you've been working on. It's just rather than buying a base, a resin base, it's quite easy to do it yourself. Just polystyrene and cardboard, that's all, and it looks reasonably well, I think. So I've added. Oh, by the way, I made a video some time ago as to how to make this broken building, and also how to make a tiger tank. So if you look back in my previous videos, you'll see how I made those. But we've got, I'll give you as close a look as I can. We've got the cobbled street with the gutter and the pavement there, a little bit burnt out. So that's all it is. Okay, you have to wait between laying on the grout and waiting for it to dry, and the tediousness of marking every single cobble. But that's what model making is. It's it's a tedious job. Somebody's got to do it though. But once everything is in place, then it all makes it look a little bit better. Where's my other tank? Can't find it now. Oh, smaller one. Put my Sherman on there. That might look a bit more in keeping. There we go. Okay, so I'll leave it with you. Have a go yourself, as usual. See how you get on. In the meantime, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please click the notification bell and the thumbs up also. And oh, what's it called? Yeah, I had to go away and look it up. I couldn't remember what it was. The thanks, I've initiated the thanks button. So if you look down and where you see the thumbs up and the thumb down, if you scroll along there, there's a thanks. So if you'd like to buy me a coffee, or leave money in a will, or promise me half your future lottery win, that's fine by me. But a coffee will do. I'm not begging in any way at all, but I've initiated that anyway. I was advised to do that. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. And as always, I wish you the very best of happy modelling.